Call the meeting to order. Start with the invocation. Please stand.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this time that we can gather together to have unity and to make wise decisions so that you would bless our community and that it would prosper. Pray you would bless those that are working diligently here, giving of their time and their talents, and that we would do all for your honor and glory in your precious name. Amen.
To the flag of the United States. Agenda. Of course, it's on favor. Okay.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hack, second by Commissioner Lamberts to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Just to kick off the meeting, we'd like to welcome the high school government students that are here in the crowd today, and just give everyone kind of a brief overview of how the meeting flows so that there's no confusion. We'll start with public comments, and I'll go over how those happen here in a moment. After public comments are through, there will be two proclamations today. And we have two individuals here in the crowd who will give those proclamations. After the proclamations, we'll move into a confidential business data executive session where all the commissioners, City Manager Lang and the City Attorney Justin Farrell and Cloud Corp Director Tim Beams and so forth, we'll go into the chambers, which is a separate room. So we do that privately. So you guys will just stay out here during that time, and we'll come back out. After that, we'll let you know if there was any action taken or not. And then we'll move on to our action agenda items, which are listed when you first walk in. It kind of has our overview of our meeting. Those are the things that there will be action taken on this evening. After that, we'll go over the reports. They start with the manager's report and then all the staff reports. Moving forward then, hopefully that was clear enough for everyone. For those that need signatures, probably wait till the end to do that for the high schoolers. Okay, so this is the time for public comments where citizens are encouraged to speak publicly. We request that you come to the podium, state your name and address, and speak respectfully, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. The commission will listen and consider your comments, but no immediate action will be taken at this time. Is there anyone in the public that has any comments this evening? Okay. We'll move on to proclamations next. We'll invite Julie Willoughby up. This is Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Hello, I don't have any personal cards today, so you're gonna get some kind of generic information here about that being one of your nonprofits, right? Giving out some blue ribbons to represent Sexual Assault Awareness Month and some general information. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll pass those out. I ran out of my business cards. I've been so busy doing proclamations. I'm Julie Willoughby. I've been with DVAC, the nonprofit that serves victims of crime. This month represents Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and I'm going to read that proclamation. Do you have any questions about DVAC before I start? Okay. April 2025 proclamation for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Whereas April is designated as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, a time to educate the public, honor survivors, and raise awareness about the prevalence of sexual violence. And whereas 1 in 2 women and nearly 1 in 3 men will experience some form of sexual violence in their lifetime, revealing that the widespread and far-reaching impact of sexual assault on individuals and communities. And whereas the state of Kansas, 1 incident of rape is reported to law enforcement every 7 hours, 51 minutes, and 23 seconds, underscoring the urgent need for continued awareness, education, and efforts to prevent sexual violence. And whereas according to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, a rape victim is more often female, 94.6% of the time, with 62.3% of victims being under the age of 25. Offenders are typically male, 88.7% of the time, with 18.9% of them being between the ages of 15 and 20 years old. And whereas the crime of rape is spread relatively even throughout the week, with Saturdays being the highest day of occurrence, accounting for 18.1% of all reported incidents. The majority of these incidents occur between midnight and 2 a.m., a critical time for prevention, intervention, and awareness. And whereas within DVAC's 7-county catchment served by the Concordia satellite office, 11 incidents of rape were reported in 2023, yet only 2 arrests were made, representing just 18.2% of reported cases resulting in an arrest. This statistic highlights the need for stronger enforcement of justice, better support for survivors, and improved law enforcement response to sexual violence. And whereas we recognize that many challenges faced by a survivor of sexual violence, including fear of not being believed, societal stigma, lack of resources, and barriers in the legal system, which contribute to underreporting and impede justice for many. And whereas, as a community, we must work together to address the issues surrounding sexual violence, support survivors in their recovery, and advocate for the justice system that holds offenders accountable, providing necessary services and protections for victims. And whereas the Domestic Violence Association of Central Kansas, also known as DVAC, provides 24/7, 365 days a year free and confidential service to victims of sexual violence in Cloud County and the city of Concordia. And whereas DVAC's advocates are available 24/7 at 785-827-5862, toll free at 1-800-874-1499. And now, therefore, the Cloud County Board of Commissioners and the City of Concordia do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Thank
You, Amy, and I guess, I know the one I sent to you, Stacy, had 2024 on it, so I reprinted this, so I'll give you a copy of it. There's some counties that, they want everybody to sign, and so that's okay, but.
We'll welcome Pam Campbell to give the Donate Life proclamation.
Thank you. And I have somebody who will give you some goodies.
We gave them out this morning with flag raising, and people really liked them, so we didn't have much, we didn't have hands to do. So whereas organ donation is a selfless gift that has saved 42,890 lives across our country in the past year. And whereas Midwest Transplant Network, our local organ procurement organization, serves all of Kansas and the western two-thirds of Missouri, where more than 2,500 people await life-saving transplants. And whereas the number of people on the organ transplant waiting list continues to far exceed the number of registered donors. And whereas through Midwest Transplant, the total number of life-saving organs transplanted in 2024 was 1,075. Whereas the mission of Midwest Transplant Network is to save lives by honoring the gift of organ and tissue donation with dignity and compassion. And whereas 95% of our country's population supports organ donation, but only 60% are registered as donors. And whereas North Central Kansas Medical Center encourages individuals to become aware of the need for organ donation and to register as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Therefore, I, Amy Jackson, Mayor of the City of Concordia, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Donate Life Month in Concordia, Kansas, to honor all those who have made the decision to donate life, to focus attention on the critical need for donation, and to encourage all Kansas residents to register as organ, eye, and tissue donors.
Thank you, Pam. Next, we'll move on to the executive session, confidential business data.
I would move that the city commission recess into executive session to discuss confidential business data or trade secrets of the business, such as KSA 754319B4, with Amy Lang, Justin Farrell, Tim Bynes, and Matthew James, and to reconvene in the city commission chamber at 15 minutes. So it's 6 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hash to recess into executive session. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Sorry, Marshall. Motion passes.
Bring your stuff in, I have a few comments. You can wait for Marcia to come back on.
I'll pass it up.
We could do it. I'm sure she knows she's gonna call back on, right?
We were gonna wait for Commissioner Wentz, but no action was taken.
At this time, I would move to approve a development agreement between the city of Concordia, Cloud Court, and Matthew and Delaney James for Lot 4, Block A of the St. Joe subdivision, more commonly known as 808 Sunflower Circle.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hutchison to approve the development agreement for 808 Sunflower Circle. Any further discussion? You have the bullet points. Can you share those with the city's commitment and this would be? Yes. Thank you.
Per a newly tendered residential development agreement, Matthew and Delaney James proposed building a home on Lot 4, Block A, St. Joseph subdivision, commonly known as 808 Sunflower Circle. Let's see. The Jameses agreed to construct a new single-family home at 808 Sunflower with a minimum as-finished appraised value of $350,000, including securing sufficient financing for all materials, labor, service, and other costs associated with constructing the home, adhering to all applicable building regulations, city codes, and the St. Joseph subdivision covenants, commencing site preparation and construction operations within 24 calendar months, completing construction of the home within 12 calendar months of initial excavation, subject to timeline accommodations for reasonable and uncontrollable project delays associated with weather, building materials, and/or contracting services, and upon closing, maintain good standing on tax payments assessed on the property post-construction. The city's commitment includes providing public infrastructure, including water main, sanitary sewer line, public street, stormwater, system, and public sidewalks within the St. Joseph subdivision with special assessments to Lot 4, Block A, due to the use of the RHID establishment as part of that Concordia MH project, and offering Lot 4, Block A of the St. Joseph subdivision at no cost per the St. Joseph land pricing policy. The James's application satisfies the designation for awarding the lot at no cost per the criteria specified in Commission Policy number 2023, number 1.
Let's still need a vote. Yeah. All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, we move on to the downtown improvement grant for 123 West 6th Street.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I am joined here by Tim Parker and Austin and Mackenzie Hassenbank for the presentation. As you see before you, the first downtown improvement grant application in a number of years. So it's really great to be able to bring this to you this evening. I think at the last commission meeting, we approved the Downtown Improvement Grant Committee. The committee members consist of myself, Sarah Shavy, Monty Wentz, and Jason Johnson. The committee has reviewed the application, reviewed the criteria for approval. You have some photos there. This is the building about a block over that has been the Print 5 building. It will be the new home of Monique and Company Salon and Spa. They've done considerable work to the building already. This downtown improvement grant is a small portion of some of the renovations they're doing there. It's essentially the storefront. So new windows, new awning, new signage, painting, new door. As you see the total numbers there. The request is for the $5,000 downtown improvement grant with a $5,000 loan from the partner bank here in town, Citizens National. And then the rest is out of pocket expense. So the total estimated cost of this project for the storefront of the building is a little over $15,000, and it roughly comes out a third between the out of pocket expenses. So I think you have the details there. They've joined me here this evening. If you have any questions, we'll let you fire away.
Can you just kind of walk through the basics of replacing windows is probably your highest cost portion of doing that from a start.
Go out more efficient, replacing the door too.
Yeah, that side of the street, especially, but you're used to that, yeah.
Used to that, yeah. A little twisty.
It should really help with electrical bills.
We do appreciate the Downtown Improvement Committee working on this and bringing it to us this evening. It's nice to see as a business moved out that another business will move in quickly and continue to make downtown thrive.
Amen. Yes.
Move to approve the application for the downtown improvement grant for 123 West 6th Street.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Hash to approve the downtown improvement grant for 123 West Sixth Street. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Marcy said aye.
Yeah. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you.
How soon are you expecting to be able to move in? Do you have any?
Sorry.
Do you have any idea when you'll be able to move in?
Oh, not currently. I mean, once we
It's the
get,
same answer she gave me this afternoon.
yeah, once we get past it, we can kind of nail it down a little bit more.
Okay.
Well, the nice part is once we tore down walls, we found this wonderful brick and rock that are taking a lot more time, but they're also gonna, I think, really bring character to the building.
Excellent.
So,
It's gonna be a jewel when it's all done. The walls are amazing.
Exciting. Thank you.
Fall-ish. Fall.
Well, summertime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Next, we have the minutes of the March 19th, 2025 meeting.
Move to approve the minutes of the March 19th, 2025 meeting.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Hash to approve the minutes of the March 19th, 2025 meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All same sign. Motion passes. Okay, appropriations ordinance number 6.
I move to approve appropriation ordinance number 6.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Wentz, second by Commissioner Hash to approve appropriation ordinance number 6. Any further discussion?
Only just selfishly, I see that we have a lot of bands we're paying for. Do we have it scheduled for the Broadway Plaza concert series?
We haven't seen the schedule yet.
Okay,
But I know Deb's still working on it.
yeah.
He's still here. Did you hear
Yep.
I'm sorry, I was on the phone.
you? Do we have a concert scheduled for the plaza for the summer? There's deposits being made.
She does. I think the schedule is pretty full at this point. There's a big variety, but, she's pending announcements of the final schedule, for another week or so, just to iron some things out. But, the schedule is essentially set at this.
Great.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, so are these? Next is the demolitions. Demolition of 202 Broadway Street is the first. So these are all separate demolitions.
So I think you did one cover memo and then we're asking you to take separate action on each, or one action on each property individually.
These are demolition bids for 4 properties that were condemned on February 5th and given 0 days. These properties are very poor condition, been unmaintained forever, extreme amount of uncontrolled growth on all of these. All of them are delinquent in taxes, some of them for several years, approaching and passing a decade in some cases. So after discussion with staff, we decided to go ahead and put the tree removal on these bids. And Dalton was the only one that turned in a bid, Dalton Snyder, familiar with him, and he actually had these separated out so that you can know what the cost of the tree removal was for each lot. And, as my memo says, if we accept all these, that will still leave me about $54,000 left in the CIP for demolition, so it'll allow me to still continue on. I found a couple more that are in dire need of attention here recently, so I'll keep bringing them to you. Stand for any questions?
This property is on the county tax sale.
3 of them are.
3 of them are. So 14th Street is also, that was gonna be. That's that one. That was the only one I didn't check.
The one on 712 West, or East 10th is not, but it's 2
Right.
years delinquent.
So it is on the tax sale?
It is not on.
Right, but 14th Street is, right?
Yes, Street.
So then my question is, with it being on the tax sale, do we take action prior to the tax sale?
So,
Because
I'm sorry.
if someone purchases it with the intent to fix it up, or if they would just demo it on their own and leave us out of it, and the tree removal, et cetera, then wouldn't that be, I mean, potentially that could be better or worse.
So kind of step ahead of you on that one. There's a firm that Republic County I use and Cloud County uses as well that does the tax sale. After we did the condemnation proceeding, I actually contacted their attorney who is doing the actual tax sale and the auction, let them know what was going on and said, hey, you know, I'm generally of the opinion we need to let them know what could be binding on the property. And so she said, okay, that's great. We'll let them know that it's a part of the condemnation proceeding and that if they purchase this property, it is in the condemnation proceeding and it is, in that condemnation proceeding will continue. So basically if the bids are accepted, I already have an email drafted that I can send her and let her know that the bids have been accepted and these properties will be demolished. Statistically, these properties are bought pennies on the dollar. And then there is no action taken on those properties after they are purchased. So what they will do at the auction is they will let anyone bidding understand this is a part of the condemnation process. And if we accept the bids tonight on this, bids have already been accepted for demolition of the structures on those condemned properties. So they are, the firm is aware and they will make the public aware when the auction goes off. So we can be through with the process.
So if somebody purchases it, or if or when someone purchases it through auction, they would pay, like you said, pennies on the dollar perhaps, auction wise, but then they'd be responsible for all the back taxes as well as. No, they're not.
So if you go to a property, if you go to a tax sale, I can go to, if I went to the tax sale, for example, and bought one of these properties for $50, that's all you get. So I get the property, they apply the $50 and then they, on a rare occasion, the property will bring more than what the back taxes are. That happens maybe one every 500 properties that are auctioned off. Usually these are auctioned off at a loss. So that those property taxes do not follow that new auction or that new buyer at the auction.
Nor does the demo or the tree
No,
removal.
the demolition does, yeah.
The demo does.
Well, the proceeding does, yes. So they are aware that that follows and so any.
So our normal process, if we're not going to the tax sale, if we did the bid and the city paid for the demolition, we would bill the property owner, correct? And they would have 30 days or so to pay, and then if they didn't, then we turn that over to the county to be put on as specials. We know that the county won't accept anything till September, so if we put it on next month, we're gonna put a recorded lien on the deed saying that's owed, and then that way that'll be sure to let any buyers know between now and then that it's gonna hit their taxes. So my question is then, these are gonna sell next week, I believe.
Yes.
Monday, I think
So-
yeah.
It could potentially have a new owner by then. Will the bill go to the previous owner or the new owner?
It would go to the new owner because they will take it during the proceedings of this condemnation. I think I understand what you're asking now. Would it wipe that off? No, it wouldn't because that's actually assessed after they property. So they're purchasing. So sometimes people will purchase structures where there's actually someone living in it. And so I will quite literally tell people, if you buy this, congratulations, you're now a landlord. So these properties you're taking, you know, you're
Only for
getting.
30 days.
What's that?
It's only for 30 days.
If you can get them out. I've had that issue too. But generally, we just tell folks, hey, you know, this is a tax sale auction and you get, basically you get what you get. You don't throw a fit, I think is what they used to tell us. But I mean, you take it subject to whatever may be going on in that property.
Justin, so if they buy the house for $50, like this 202 Broadway Street,
Mhm.
they would cut a check for $12,360. $50 plus the amount that's owed.
The
to the house.
reduction cost.
No,
No, so no, what they would end up doing was they'd cut a check for $50. They
Yeah.
would get the deed for it, then we would assess that bill to them.
Mm.
And then they would either pay it or it would be, yeah. So I'm hoping, well, generally what we do in these situations is we let folks know about all of that. So that then maybe it would discourage certain, you know, people are just gonna buy it and let it rot.
so
Yeah.
will you be there that day to make sure that conversation's had? So
I
you don't
have,
get-
No, unfortunately, I can't. I actually didn't know it was on Monday.
Okay.
But what I will do, actually, I have been in contact with Michelle Renwell, who's the attorney at Linda Osterman that does those. And she has, I even sent her the condemnation, all of our documentation and everything too. So she's aware of it. She has confirmed she will do it. I am sending her a reminder with that saying, hey, you know, if the bids are accepted tonight, I will send that and say, hey, please let these folks know. They're now taking it subject to the bids that have been accepted for demolition of this property.
It's actually in their favor if you guys accept the bids tonight, because then we can give them a dollar figure of what to expect.
Right, but they're also paying, I don't know, like they're paying for a lot. That's $12,310 on 202 Broadway, basically. I mean, and, or they're paying the, you know, whatever they bid on it and not paying that and we're eating it. They're pretty crazy.
If the redemption costs isn't paid, what happens?
Yes.
The redemption costs that are on the cell bill.
No, so if I go there and so there's some different fees that are tacked onto those. So that would be, so the redemption cost is the back taxes, I believe, that are owed. So I don't have to, I'm not paying that, I'm paying whatever I bid on. And so if I get it for $500, I get it for $500. The redemption cost would have been how much I believe it would have cost for them to get it off of the tax sale. And come Monday, that's too late, but I've had people run up and try to do it 20 minutes before the tax sale starts. So, I mean, you pay for what you pay. There's a fee on there that the firm tags on, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, basically these people will be taking it subject to a condemnation proceeding that's going to, or demolition action that's going to cost them additional money. I don't know, maybe they have and they'll come to Bruno and stop the dump trucks. You know what I'm doing, Phil.
So normally then the city would pay up to a certain dollar amount for the demolition.
If the owner chooses to try to get it onto the demo program, yeah, we have a program to help, but these properties have been walked away from years ago.
Okay.
And never
So
had anything.
that will
to
not be,
except for
any
city
issue.
mowing them and clearing trees that fall down and stuff.
so the expectation is that they would pay the total bill for the demolition.
That's up to the city's decision at the time if they wanted to have the property. If we put a lien on it for that,
Okay,
then it's just like any lien on any property, then you negotiate that lien. I mean, with some of these properties have liens on them that are incredible. You know, we got one I get asked about every day. Every day I get a call about the one up on 15th Street. And it's got a $57,000 lien against it from a home, a rest home. Because the occupant in the later years couldn't afford it, I guess, so they put a lien on that. And those don't go away unless the lien holder signs something to give them, you know, to let them go away. And in some cases, you have to negotiate that. And I do know that there are real estate agents in town that have done that. They have had properties that were delinquent and that had liens on them, and they called the lien holders and said, hey, would you take this much to release that lien? And they've done it and actually have gotten houses back into service. You know, but in my opinion, none of these four are occupiable, and it would be very difficult to get them occupiable. And anybody that purchased them would that be their goal? I seriously doubt it.
With that in mind, I think I would move to accept the bid for $12,310 from Dalton Dirt Works for the demolition of the structure of light at 202 Broadway Street.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Lamberts to accept the bid for $12,310 from Dalton Dirt Works to demo the structure at 202 Broadway. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, demolition of 325 East 12th Street.
Move to accept the bid for $11,700 from Dalton Dirt Works for the demolition of the structure and removal of light at 325 East 12th.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Lamberts to accept the bid for $11,700 from Dalton Dirt Works to demolish the structure at 325 East 12th Street. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I move to accept the bid for $14,845 from Dalton Dirt Works for the demolition of the structure and removal of blight at 421 West 14th Street.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Wentz to approve the bid from Dalton Dirt Works for the destruction and demolition of 421 West 14th Street. Any further discussion?
Point of clarification, if I can ask on that, was your motion for the 8,845 or was it for the total with the tree removal, 14,845? 14,845, okay. Just make sure. Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Hash to accept the bid for $14,848 from Dalton Dirt Works for the demolition of the structure at 421 West 14th Street. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Passes. Demolition of 712 East 10th.
I move to accept the bid for $14,790 from Dalton Dirt Works for the demolition of the structure and removal of blight, 712 East 10th Street.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hutchison, second by Commissioner Wentz to approve the demolition bid for $14,790 for 712 East 10th Street. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have the bunker gear purchase.
Evening, Mayor, Commissioners. So right now with the Safer grant through the Kansas State Firefighters Association, we have the opportunity to buy 6 sets of turnout gear that will end up costing us $1,035.36. In the long run, it will take at least 3, probably 4 months to get the money paid back. I was on the phone with the gal from the NVFC yesterday, and she said that FEMA's having a very long backlog right now. So it will take quite a while to get the money back, but she said that everything has been getting approved so far. They've not had any issues with it. The only risk that we possibly could run into is that the grant would be fully paid out before we would get our money paid back to us through the application process. The grant is supposed to run for another 2.5 years. They do have quite a large sum of money that they're receiving through it, so I don't believe it would run out in the next 4 or 5 months, but that is always a risk. One of the 7 I've already turned in. That's been turned in about 3 weeks ago. So still a number of months on that one. So I mean, if you look at it as we're turning in 7 and only buying 6, we're kind of ahead for this year anyways.
So if they wouldn't get awarded, we have money in the budgeted to cover them, and they're necessary for our firefighters.
One of the individuals has coat, helmet, hood. The other 2 individuals on here, they definitely don't have anything. They're large individuals that would not fit into anything we have. The other 3, they currently use their rural fire department gear. They bring it with them just because the stuff I do have that they could wear is pretty dated and tattered and not safe to wear. The gear is definitely needed.
Sure. I'd move to approve the purchase from Weiss, right? Weiss,
Yeah.
Fire and Safety for up to 6 sets of bunker gear for up to $23,385.54, pending the Safer grant qualification.
Second.
Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hash to approve the purchase of 6 sets of bunker gear. And pending the state, I don't know, 23,385.54 pending the safer grant qualification. Sorry about that. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion passes. Thank you, Chief. Managers report.
Mayor Commissioners, last Tuesday had an opportunity to participate in the senior interview day at the high school. Got to visit with several of the seniors and several of the ones that are here tonight. It was real joy to visit the class. They've really grown a lot throughout the year. It's a lot of fun to visit with them. NCK tourism meeting was on Thursday. So our Clark County tourism group hosted the regional tourism partners, and it was really neat to hear what the different towns around were doing, what they were going through, and just kind of sharing a lot. Resulted in someone wanting to come back here and learn a little bit from our community. So it was great question, great conversation. And again, tells us that we're doing a really good job here in our tourism industry, which is really good. Back up to Wednesday, and our department head team went and helped distribute commodities at the First United Methodist Church, and that was a lot of fun too. We really kind of enjoyed that service project. Takes about hour and a half, and really gives us a good sense of kind of what's out there and what ways that we can serve the community. And the ladies at the Methodist Church have a very efficient process that they follow, and so it makes it really easy to work with them. Tomorrow I'll be traveling to Lindsborg for a city forum, legislative forum that the league puts on, and visit with our legislators there in other cities. And then on Friday morning, I go to Emporia for a league governing body meeting. Those governing body meetings travel every other month to a board member city, and we get to kind of tour the city and learn what they're doing. So that works out pretty well too. Let's see. Citywide cleanup coming up. Just kind of a reminder for everybody that next week is when our crews will begin picking up items. So we're asking residents to place their items at the curb this weekend. As long as items are placed at the curb by 7 a.m. Monday, they'll guarantee pickup for eligible items that remain sorted at the curb. So this year we're picking up furniture, appliances, and tree limbs that are smaller than 4 inches at the curb. We are not picking up tires at the curb, but we are still collecting tires. So folks can bring their passenger car and truck tires to the lot across from City Shop that is located at 2nd and Mill. They can drop those off between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. as long as they have proof of Concordia residency. The reason that we're doing that is to keep that as a benefit to our residents here. We have had some abuse of that in the past, so we want to make sure that our residents can continue to receive that benefit to get rid of an abundance of tires in the yard that can harbor places for vermin and pests. And we want to make sure that we keep our community healthy in doing so. So things that are not eligible would be construction debris, trash, things of that nature. So we won't be picking up those items. Again, get those items to the curb by Monday at 7 a.m. We hope to continue and finish through the town by Friday. We do intend to let the public know which areas of town we've completed at the end of each day, and that way people will know if they need to take care of the rest of the items that are at their curb. Following cleanup, we will go around and do what we call a nuisance blitz, which means that if items weren't picked up at your curb, that means that we either missed the deadline or they weren't eligible items. So we'll let people know then that they have another 10 days after that to move those items away on their own. If they choose not to do that, then we will come and do it for them for a fee of $300. So that's citywide cleanup for this year. So the tires is a change, and I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. We'll do some additional publicizing tomorrow and Friday to help remind people what's happening. Any questions?
Staff report.
Get up there. Gotcha. Just to follow up to what we were, just so you guys are aware, I kind of want to just put it on the record. I did send an email with the amounts of what the tree removal and the demolition would be. Basically explained to them that while we don't want to scare off buyers, these trees have been rotting for years, and so we had to take action on them. As we kind of were discussing as well, since this, and I explained it to her too, my view is this is everything back is erased at the time that you purchase one of those properties. But since this is something that we are just have accepted a bid on and will be applying in the future, maybe that bid ends up having to change or whatever it may be. Since it's being applied in the future, it could be applied to the buyer. So they are very much on notice of all of that. I didn't know, until just now. It was on Monday. I knew it was coming up, or I would be there. And what time would it start? 1:30. If for some reason I could be back in town, I will. I'll be there. Bid form still, so I just wanted to let you guys know that.
So we were very fortunate last week. We had the director of the 911 communication
center of Dixon County come up and spend a week with us and make sure that we're all in compliance with all the new federal regulations and the case sieges. And she gave us a lot of pointers and some stuff that we are going to have to change. But overall, we're in pretty good shape. A lot of rules changing. Federal government's really cracking down on security. We're gonna have to tighten the center up pretty tight. But with that being said, I felt good with her having her there, and thank Dixon County for allowing her to come up and spend a week helping us out. As far as patrol, we are busy. We are taking a lot of cases. With that being said, Drew Collins, our new hire, is at the start of the academy Monday. So hopefully by the end of June, we'll have him back and get him trained up and get him on the street. So.
National Flood Insurance Program. We are currently in the review period for our LOMAR, our letter of map change, and it's a 90-day review period. I can't remember, it's been going about 35, 40 days now. But we did receive some draft maps from FEMA showing the official change, proposed change. It's available on it'll be available. The one from FEMA is a little bit different than the one that we submitted for the LOMA, because ours shows a 500-year event as well as the 100-year less than 1 foot event. So, but what I'm getting at is for FEMA to send us a draft map for review. That means things that are everything. Maria Nealon, who we were working with on the application, and it's looking pretty positive. So hopefully within a couple of months we'll be under a new map that's accurate.
There's some people that are happy to hear about that then.
What's that?
So there's people that are very happy to hear about that.
Oh yeah, and you can go online or call. We have physical maps you can look at if you want a particular piece of property to look at. We can help you with all that.
The audit is on Monday, and I'm sure he'll be contacting you. Has he done that every year? He didn't do you last. Maybe not.
It's all right.
Maybe not.
It's
Okay, if he does. Okay. Good. Glad that we do this. Okay, commissioner reports.
Oh, are you looking at me? I don't have anything.
I guess I would like to say I'm pleased to see the housing project continue, and tonight's purchase of the first private lot, when it be MIH, is a really good sign, as well as all the progress that our builder is making. So I think that's continuation of really good things to do.
I wanted to just say something. I really appreciate the work that DVAC does. As a social worker, I certainly work with individuals who are on the surviving side of trauma. And the statistics that were read off, I think from 23, I think when I hear that there are more calls being made and more involvement from law enforcement, I think that really speaks to the work that you've done since you've been on board here, Chief, starting in January of 23. I know that I had clients before that would talk about that there really wasn't much of a benefit or need to contact, or certainly not much faith that things would be done. And I'm hearing that there's a lot better and I think more respectful and certainly compassionate response from law enforcement, certainly in terms of sexual trauma, but really just across the board. I think that people are just speaking about the increased confidence and the positive presence that they see from law enforcement. So I know that sometimes when we see that numbers are going up, it can make us think or believe that there's more things happening. What I believe to be true is that more things are being reported and more things are being addressed. And I certainly appreciate the efforts that you and your team are putting out day in and day out. Thank you.
Marcia, do you have anything? Commissioner Wentz?
No, I just hope people do their yard cleanup or their front porch cleanup with the with the city picking up their items. It would be nice to see their front porches cleaned up. I think we have an ordinance, if I remember correctly, that furniture outside's supposed to be furniture that's made for outside and not indoor furniture. And I think we have some problems with that we maybe need to be addressing. Otherwise, don't have anything.
Thank you, Commissioner Lentz. The only thing I have this evening is, there was a citizen, a property owner in Concordia. They don't currently live here, but they used to, but still do own a nice property in this community. And he was disappointed that there was not an opportunity to contribute to the memorial, the brick wall memorial any longer. That's not something that's happening anymore. And there's a person that I wasn't familiar with who they are. I should have wrote down their name. I apologize, but somebody that was prominent in our community that he wanted to memorialize. And so he just asked that I bring that to the commission to think about ways that, you know, even people that are in other communities can memorialize people from our community and contribute to helping maybe our, you know, with our parks or other things within Concordia. So he was very positive about that and wanted to support it. But with that being said, would need an avenue to be able to do some type of memorial that would benefit the community. So if you guys have any ideas, think about that and we'll bring it up again soon. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Lambert, second by Commissioner Hash to adjourn. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Anyone terribly,